In harmonious voices, they praise him. They have come by the thousands to this Zimbabwean stadium inside the capital city of Harare. On this Independence Day, supporters dance and sing in celebration of their freedom in honor of the man that gave them their independence, their hero, President Robert Mugabe. However, others will tell you there is little to celebrate here, least of all, the president.
The unbearability of the lives is due to him, murderer that he is.
Archbishop Pius Nkumbe is not a man who minces words. He is an outspoken critic of President Mugabe and the president's policies.
There's so much poverty in Zimbabwe, we've never experienced such a situation. So he should have used his intelligence to get a proper land reform program going. But he panicked. He realized, I'm going to lose power. Let me grab the land. Let me chase away all these white farmers. There were 4,000 of them. Get out. We're taking your land now.
Since the land reform in 2000, inflation has skyrocketed by more than 1,000%. There is an 80% unemployment rate, and Archbishop Nkumbe blames it all on Mugabe.
Having smashed up the people's lives, we've taken away their political freedom, imposed new and useless laws, interfered with the judiciary, caused the young people not to be able to live here.
The Archbishop speaks with a freedom few people enjoy here. Even those who agree with him dare not to say it. Journalists have found that out the hard way.
Our offices were bombed. That was sometime in '99. Several months later, that's when the printing press was bombed.
Needless to say, Foster Dungozi's employer, the Daily News, shut down, taking with it a voice for those too afraid to speak for themselves. Human rights attorney Beatrice Mtetwa calls the paper's closing a casualty of a government policy.
I would say that this law came about because there was this coincidence where a very vibrant daily newspaper came into town and became very popular and was able to articulate the people's feelings on various issues. And that publication of the first independent daily newspaper coincided shortly thereafter with the establishment of a very viable political opposition party. And this clearly was the kind of a convergence that the government found a bit too much to take on board.
So in 2002, the government passed the Access to Information and Protection of Privacy Act, a law that has been used as a political weapon to silence the media from revealing concerns of corruption, social problems, and economic issues within the country. Due to this law, I had to record most of my images through the window of a moving car to avoid being seen.
In my view, it really is completely pointless to talk of democracy and the enjoyment of any other freedom if the basic freedom of expression and imparting different views is interfered with. That really is why I am passionate about freedom of expression, because I believe it is the bedrock of all other freedoms and all other rights.
And that's why she has defended many journalists who have been restricted and even imprisoned under these laws.
From the details I got,
journalists like Vincent Kaya, the editor of the Zimbabwe Independent,
was arrested in 2003 after writing an article about the president's trip to Malaysia, where he took a plane owned by the national carrier to Malaysia. Nothing came out of that case. You know, the state dropped the case after almost a year when we were out on remand.
But even though he has been detained, even though he deals with constant government harassment, Vincent says he will not be deterred.
We believe that we will make a difference, and to some extent we have made a small contribution to the democratization or the fight for democratic space in Zimbabwe.
I actually believe that the journalists who continue to work in Zimbabwe, particularly for the independent media under very difficult circumstances, are the bravest heroes and heroines that have not probably received the kind of recognition that they deserve. I am an optimist. I believe that history shows us that however bad things at the end of the day, there will be some light at the end of the dark period. Nobody could have believed, for instance, that South Africa would dramatically become free in the way that it did. And I believe that Zimbabwe will get out of this period. It's just a question of time. When and how, we all don't know, but history is on our side. It will happen.
Until that day, Archbishop Nkumbe, Beatrice Mtetwa, Foster, and Vincent vowed to continue to speak out until the rights of their people to live in real freedom prevails. And when that day comes, they say that will be the day that all the people of Zimbabwe can celebrate what will truly be Independence Day.